Hello my darlings, and welcome to a video where I create a shrine to Hecate, the Greek goddess of witchcraft, crossroads, the moon, magic, and keeper of the keys between worlds. While I craft this shrine, I want to share some of the myths and archetypes represented by this goddess. Let's do some magical crafting. Each month I create a new shrine and research a new deity to learn more about them, their roles and sacred symbols. As I craft the shrine, I'll share with you what I learned about this deity, and when the shrine is complete, I'll be offering it in my shop so that a devotee of the goddess can own and display it on their altar or in their home. As I'm crafting this shrine to Hecate, I'll be adding colors and symbols to represent her. For this shrine, I'm painting a light purple to black gradient to represent the night sky and liminal spaces where Hecate's power is strongest and honors her connection to the moon, particularly in her dark or waning aspect. Black elements symbolize her association with the underworld and mysteries, while purple is a color associated with magic. I'm adding a moon and tiny dog figurines at the top of the shrine, honoring her sacred animal companions. I will also add gold snakes in the background, another animal sacred to the goddess. The statue of the goddess incorporates dogs and a snake, along with a dagger and a torch to represent the torches she carries to illuminate the darkness. Hecate is one of the most powerful and enigmatic goddesses in Greek religion. Unlike many deities who lost prominence over time, Hecate's worship actually increased throughout the classical and Hellenistic periods, showing her enduring importance to the ancient Greeks and Romans. Her origins likely trace back to Thrace or Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, where she may have been a major goddess before being incorporated into the Greek pantheon. This foreign origin may explain her somewhat outsider status among the Olympians, though Zeus himself honored her greatly. In Hesiod's Theogony, one of our earliest literary references to Hecate, Zeus grants her extraordinary privileges, allowing her to maintain domains in all three realms, heaven, earth, and the underworld. This triple sovereignty sets her apart from most other deities, who are typically confined to specific domains. Hesiod describes her as having power over the distribution of wealth and honors among mortals, victory in battle, success in athletic competitions, and the prosperity of cattle and children, showing her as a far more comprehensive goddess than the later focus on her darker aspects might suggest. The symbols associated with Hecate reflect her complex nature. The torch represents her illumination of darkness and guidance through obscure places, both literal and metaphorical. Keys symbolize her role as gatekeeper between worlds. She unlocks the doors between life and death, consciousness and unconsciousness, the known and the unknown. The dagger or athame represents her protective and banishing powers. Her sacred animals include dogs, especially black dogs, whose howling was believed to herald her presence, serpents representing wisdom and renewal, and polecats or weasels, possibly connected to her pre-Greek origins. Hecate is frequently depicted in triple form, as three women standing back to back, looking in different directions, or as three distinct faces on one figure. This triple aspect connects to her dominion over three realms, but also the crossroads she governs, places where three roads met. Her triplicity further links to the three phases of the moon, waxing, full, and waning, the three stages of a woman's life, maiden, mother, and crone, and the three stages of existence: birth, life, and death. This multiplicity suggests her ability to see in all directions at once: past, present, and future, beginning, middle, and end. The crossroads hold particular significance in Hecate's worship. Ancient Greeks believed that three-way crossroads were liminal spaces where the veils between worlds thin, allowing communication with spirits and deities. Small shrines to Hecate, called Hecatea, were placed at these intersections, where travelers would leave offerings for safe passage. During the dark moon each month, suppers called Hecate's Diepnon were left at crossroads for the goddess and the restless dead that traveled with her, serving both as offerings to Hecate and as a form of spiritual cleansing for the household. While often associated with the darker aspects of magic, Hecate was also a protective deity. She guarded doorways, entrances, and boundaries, thresholds where danger might enter. As a guide between worlds, she helped souls transition safely to the underworld. Her torch lit the way through darkness, both literal and metaphorical. Even her connections to witchcraft originally centered around healing magic and protective spells rather than malevolent sorcery. In the Eleusinian Mysteries, Greece's most important religious ceremonies centered around Demeter and Persephone, Hecate played a significant role. When Persephone was abducted, Hecate was the only deity who heard her cries and later helped Demeter search for her daughter. After Persephone's return, Hecate became her companion and guide in the underworld. This myth shows Hecate's compassionate nature and her ability to traverse and connect to different realms, qualities that made her invaluable to those seeking initiation into the mysteries of life and death. Hecate's association with plants and herbs, particularly those with psychoactive, healing, or poisonous properties, connected her to ancient traditions of folk medicine and herbalism. Yew, cypress, garlic, mandrake, aconite, belladonna, and dittany were among her sacred plants, many of which have both healing and harmful potential, reflecting her own dual nature as both benevolent guide and fearsome guardian. This botanical knowledge made her a patron of midwives, healers, and herbalists. As a lunar goddess, Hecate was particularly associated with the dark moon, that brief period when the moon is invisible before reappearing as a thin crescent. This monthly darkness represented the void from which creation emerges, the necessary emptiness that precedes renewal. Her lunar connections also linked her to women's mysteries, menstrual cycles, and the hidden rhythms of body and earth that follow lunar patterns. Hecate's worship was typically conducted at night, particularly at the dark of the moon. Offerings included garlic, honey, black lambs, dogs, and special cakes decorated with miniature torches called amphifontes. Purification rituals were an important aspect of her worship, as she was believed to both cleanse pollution and potentially cause it if disrespected. Her followers understood the necessary balance between light and shadow, creation and destruction that Hecate embodied. In later periods, particularly under Roman influence, Hecate became more strongly associated with sorcery and necromancy. The Roman poet Horace depicts her in his works as a fearsome goddess of witchcraft, and she appears in Seneca's Medea as the patron deity invoked for powerful magical workings. While these later characterizations emphasize her darker aspects, they still acknowledged her tremendous power and authority over liminal spaces and transformative magic. What I find compelling about Hecate is her role as guide through the transitions and difficult passages. She stands at the crossroads of our lives, those pivotal moments of decision, transformation, or initiation, offering her torchlight to illuminate the path forward when the way seems darkest. She represents the wisdom that comes from embracing both light and shadow, the power that emerges when we're willing to face the unknown and the uncomfortable. For those seeking to connect with Hecate today, she offers guidance through major life transitions, support during dark night of the soul experiences, and assistance in developing psychic or intuitive abilities. Her energy supports shadow work, the psychological practice of confronting and integrating disowned parts of our lives. She teaches discernment and protection, helping us navigate potentially dangerous spiritual or magical territories safely. Appropriate offerings to Hecate might include keys, dark honey, garlic, lavender, mugwort, black or purple candles, and food at crossroad points in your life. Working with her often involves practicing at threshold times, midnight, dawn, or dusk, or threshold places, doorways, crossroads, shorelines. Many modern practitioners honor her during the dark moon, leaving offerings at literal or symbolic crossroads. In our bright, hyper-connected modern world that often fears darkness and uncertainty, Hecate reminds us of the value in embracing mystery and willing descent into the unknown, and in finding our own inner light to guide us when external illumination fails. Her presence at crossroads reminds us that even in moments of greatest uncertainty, sacred guidance is available if we know how to listen for the howling of her hounds. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of Hecate. Typically here, I would say that if you're interested in adding this shrine to your sacred space, you'll find it available in my shop. However, this shrine has already been purchased by a lovely patron and friend of the channel. Until next time, may Hecate's torches illuminate your path as you navigate life's most profound crossroads and transformations.